Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Georgia, I hope you're well. Welcome back to another monthly reset vlog. I'm trying to do these every single month because I always have loads of random little bookish things that I need to do every month, so I figured this would be a really fun way to sort of get all that done with you guys. So, welcome to our Goodbye February, Hello March reset. I have lots of just like little niggly things that I need to get done this month. Past me did go a little bit crazy and unhaul a load of books, so I'll pass you back to her for that. I've got a really exciting package with a lot of like book merch in that I've ordered. I've got a subscription box and a gift to show you guys bookish wise as well. No haul this month because I'm actually doing 75 booked, therefore I am on a book buying ban for the next 75 days, but my pre-orders don't count and my subscription box doesn't count either. So no official haul this month, unfortunately. And then I just also want to update my reading journal and my reading trackers and then just put some books away, get a little bit more organised, ready for the next month. Let's just jump straight in. We've got a lot of stuff to cover, so I don't want to be rabbiting on at you for too long. So I'm first going to pass you back to past Georgia, who went a little bit crazy and decided to unhaul a good chunk of her books collection. So I say a good chunk. It's a good chunk for me. I don't do decluttering. I don't do unhauling. I am a hoarder, especially when it comes to my books. So the fact that I have actually got rid of as many as I did is just like a little bit mind-blowing. So we're very proud of past me. Go me. But I will pass you back to her now to go through our little unhaul. So the date today is the 12th of February and I've just had a moment of like, do you know what? Let's unhaul some books. So I've been putting this off for ages, and every time I look at my shelves and say I'm going to unhaul some books, I can never bring myself to do it. I created like a maybe pile of books that I'm like, well, I'll keep hold of them for now. No, they're going. We're going to start being strict and I'm going to get rid of some books. I can tell you now there's at least 20 books on this shelf that I am just not going to pick up, and we're just going to get rid of them. We're just going to get rid of them. I'll either put them on Vinted or I'll send them to a charity shop. If I do decide I can be bothered to do Vinted, it'll be in the description bar below. I'm just going to get rid of some of these books. I don't need them. I can rehome them. There are people that will love them so much more than I will. It's time. So do you know what? We're just going to do it. Let's just crack on. I'm going to go shelf by shelf. I'm going to take off all the books that I just know I'm not going to gravitate towards or pick up anytime soon. And we're going to get them off my shelves. What's actually brought this on is I added all of the books I own to my Goodreads like want to read so that I can see literally everything on my shelves. And in doing this, I was adding them like, I'm not going to get to that. I'm not going to get to that. And I was literally going through and through and through and like, I'm not going to get to them. So I've just got so many books that I'm so much more excited by. So why am I keeping hold of them when somebody else can get so much love out of it? So my TBR cart is obviously safe. Everything on there are things I really want to read. I'm just going to go through, get them all into a pile, and then we'll go through them together. So let's just go. I have just pulled 42 books off my shelf. Who am I? Like, actually, who am I? This is crazy. That is far more than I actually expected, but I said I was being strict and I meant it. These are going. They are leaving. They are gone. Let's go through them. Quicksilver, going. I can't get the matching edition for Brimstone. I haven't read these yet. I am going to repurchase this in the hardback edition so I can get them both matching. But Quicksilver, gone. Books 1 and 2 in the Coven of Bones series, going. I read book 1, I didn't enjoy it. I've got zero motivation to pick up book 2. I didn't not enjoy it, but I didn't love it. I weren't present for it. It didn't hook me. They're just sitting on my shelf collecting dust. I've never even read book 2, going. The Four Horsemen series, I got these a while ago. I just don't see myself gravitating towards them at all. I've not heard the greatest things. I just don't think they'll actually be very me. So I'm going to get rid of all of these as a set as well. The Wrath and the Dawn, I really wanted to love this. I don't feel myself gravitating towards it at all. I just don't think I'll pick it up, unfortunately. So it's literally never been read. It's in perfect condition. I'm going to get rid of it. The Night Hunt by Alexandria Christo. Again, I just have no motivation, no pull towards it at all. Never read it. Perfect condition. I'm going to part with it again. They can just go to better homes. I've then got Too Beautiful to Break and Too Hot to Handle by Tessa Bailey. I don't know what the order is to these, and I know that there's 2 more somewhere, but I don't feel myself gravitating towards these at all, so I'm going to part with these as well. I then have Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. This is sort of like a Disney retelling. This is book 4, I think. But again, I just don't feel myself gravitating towards it. If I'm going to read a Disney sort of book, I'm going to read one of my like Twisted Tales ones. I feel a lot more pull towards those than I do towards this. And this is book 4, so I'm just going to part with this one as well. I then have My Fault and Your Fault by Mercedes Ron. I've heard that one of these or more than one of these are actually like stepbrother things, which is just not my thing. So I'm going to part with these. I don't feel like I'll ever pick them up. I didn't know that they were stepbrother ones at the time, and I don't know which one's which. And if I'm not going to read one of them, I'm not going to read any of them. So I'm just going to part with both. I then have The Priest series by Sierra Simone. Again, I just don't feel any gravitation towards these all at the moment. And I've had them for like over a year, and they're just not going to get read, so I'm going to give them to a better home. I then have The Darkest Minds set. This is a set of 4 books, the full series. I've not read any of them, but I just don't feel myself gravitating towards them all. I've had these for the longest time, and I'm just not going to pick them up. I then have The Girl on the Train. I've heard most amazing things about this. I actually got this from a charity shop, so I'll just give it back to the charity shop. But I never picked it up, and I've had it like nearly 2-3 years now, so I'm going to take that back. I then also have Gone Girl. It's a very similar story. I bought it from a charity shop after hearing the most amazing things, but I just don't see myself picking it up, so I'm going to part ways with this one as well. I've then got Falling Hard for the Royal Guard. Again, just no pull towards it at all, so I'm going to part ways with this one. Same with The Switch by Beth O'Leary. I have read another book by hers and really enjoyed it. This was actually given to me secondhand from a friend, and I don't see myself picking it up, so I'm going to part ways with this one as well. I then have Maximum Ride Trilogy. My nan actually recommended this series to me. I absolutely love James Patterson's like mystery, murder type books. And this was his fantasy series. So when I told my nan that I was starting to get into fantasy, she was like, you should try these. And that was like 5 years ago. And I still haven't read them. I just don't see myself picking these up or gravitating towards them. So I'm going to get rid of these ones as well. I am so proud of myself. I then have the entire House of Night series and 2 of the novellas at the bottom. I'm not going to hold all of those up because they're really heavy. I read to book 7 of these books and I did enjoy them, but that was like 2 years ago and I haven't picked one up in like 2 years, so I feel like I just wouldn't know where I was if I were to jump back in. They're sort of like that 2010 fantasy romancy one, and like it's a Vampire Academy type thing, and I really enjoyed them at the time, but I feel like I'd have to restart them, and I've just got so many other books that I would rather read, so I feel like it'd be a waste of time me jumping into these again. So I'm going to sell them as a full set on probably Vinted and get rid of them because I just don't feel myself gravitating towards them at all. So they're the 41 books I am actually going to part with. This is hurting me to do. I'm like already talking myself out of it, but these are 100% going. If you see these back on my shelves at any point, please shout at me because that's very naughty. I am getting rid of all of these books. I'm not going to read them. I'm just holding on to them for the sake of holding on to them. They are much better. Going to a different home where they'll be loved and appreciated and read. Over 40 books on hold. Go me. Okay, so now that we've done that, I think I'm actually just going to open the few parcels that I've got because I am beyond excited about them. But before I do that, I did just want to show you the one book that I did get this month, but I didn't buy it. So I had actually pre-ordered this book months and months ago when it first sort of announced that it was coming out. But then my lovely friend Faye knew that I wanted the matching one to the book one and has bought me a copy of And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. She got the one from the works with the sprayed edges so that it matches my copy of First Time Caller, and I just think that is so sweet. I had pre-ordered it. I didn't know that we're actually doing the same sprayed edges. I'd hoped they had, but I didn't know for definite that they were. So I was so happy and so grateful when she bought me this one because she knows I'm on a book buying ban and she knows that I can't buy it until the end of my 75 days. So she very, very kindly, bless her, bought me this book. So thank you, Faye. I love you. So I now have my matching copy of And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison, which I'm so excited to read. Thank you again, Faye. You are amazing. I love you. And then do you know what? Should we just jump straight into my Fairy Loot while we're opening Bookish boxes? So I have the Fairy Loot Romantasy subscription. I have these 2 shelves here that are all my Fairy Loot books, so I get just the Romantasy one. I don't get any of the others. I keep debating seeing if I can get on the waiting list for the like 3-book one, but I'm not reading them quick enough to keep up with them anyway, so let's just open this one. What have we got today? We have Demon Hunters. I never read the back of these first because it tells you what book is in it and I don't want to know. So, okay. Oh, it's Halfsey. Okay, this is Kate Golden's new one, isn't it? So I have some of her other books here. I don't know if you can see them or not. And I still haven't read them and I really, really want to. But I've heard so many people reading this book and absolutely loving it. So I am so happy to have a copy of it. And this is absolutely stunning. Like, that artwork is incredible. Honestly, hats off to all of the like Fairyly artists because it's incredible. And those sprayed edges, what is that? That is incredible. I think this might be my favourite sprayed edge yet. I think it is, you know, that is incredible. Keep your daggers sharp and your wits even sharper. It's just a little quote on the back. So just to give you the full wrap around. This is stunning. Ooh, the end page art is so good. Oh my god, the naked hardback is also incredible. They're just so nice. I don't know how they come up with these ideas. It's so good. And then obviously just the reversible dust jacket as well. Let's quickly read the synopsis then. Welcome to Harker Academy for Deviant Defense. Keep your daggers sharp and your wits even sharper. Viv is an average 21-year-old girl. She lives in an expensive city where rent is too high, works long hours at a thankless job, and is dating a guy she doesn't even like in hopes of winning her prickly mother's approval. She also happens to be a demon hunter. Ever since her father was murdered, she's been forced to hunt deviants alone, meaning everyone, including her family, see her as an outsider, until the day she crosses paths with a dangerously alluring demon, Reed Graveheart. The reformed deviant tells her of a school for people just like her, Harker Academy for Deviant Defense. If she enrolls, she'll learn to hone her craft, work with other hunters, and never be alone again. But Viv has deadly secrets, one that not even her own friends at Harker can know about, not if the school might hold the answers to untangling the mystery surrounding her father's death. When strange occurrences begin to plague the students, Viv will have to figure out who she can trust, all while trying to ace her classes, avoid falling for a demon, and make it through her first year at Harker in one piece. How hard could that be? I really struggled to read that. That font isn't great, and you can't really tell what's full stops and what's commas, and I am dyslexic, so that one was very difficult, but it sounds incredible. And I am really, really looking forward to giving this one a go. I haven't really read any sort of like demon romances before, so I'm intrigued to see what I think of sort of like a demon romance. This one sounds so much fun. I do usually like an academy setting. I do think they are fun. I'm looking forward to reading like a demon hunter, demon sort of situations. This one sounds really incredible and is probably my favourite sprayed edge yet. Just saying. They are my two new books this month. We've got some amazing sprayed edges going on in the month of March. This is going to be incredible. I'm very happy with that. Well, in February, but to be read from March. But yeah, I am so happy with that. I think this is going to be a really fun read. And also just the other side of the card, sorry, it just says, when Viv enrolls in a covert academy for demon hunters, surviving classes is only the beginning as deadly threats rise and an alluring demon blends the line between enemy and ally. I'm so excited. I think this one is going to be so much fun. Okay, that's my little book haul. I now actually think I'm going to move on to my Bookish merch. So I have recently placed an order with Literature Stitches. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, today is probably the first video in forever where I actually don't already have something of theirs on. But all of my book related merch is from them. I absolutely love the brand. This isn't sort of like sponsored or anything like that. It is literally just, I am obsessed with their designs. I'm obsessed with the quality. I absolutely love the brand. So I place an order every now and then, and I've just had my order arrive. So we're just going to go through the things that I bought together because I am so excited. So we have my parcel here. I did actually order 4 things this month because I am naughty. Let's open it up. It looks like it's packaged really nicely. Let's have a nosy. Okay, that is literally so sweet. I am so excited to get into this. It's also come with a little loyalty card, and it just says collect 10 stickers to get £10 off your next order. I order all of mine in a large. I like my sort of like jumpers to be quite slouchy and comfy. I'm usually around a size UK 12. I ordered 2 t-shirts and 2 sweatshirts. Obviously we're coming into the warmer months, so I just wanted to have some t-shirt options as well. So I've got like a powerless one, a reckless one, I've got my one more chapter one, and I've got my ACOTAR one. So I've just gone for a few random different designs. So the first design that I went for was the Wishing Well Ranch design. This one is from Chestnut Spring series, if you don't know, by Elsie Silver, and I picked the blue thread because of Heartless, which is my favourite book from that series, and that's the blue one. So with this brand you can usually pick the colour of the t-shirt that you want and also the colour of the thread. You can pretty much mix and match to pick any sort of colour scheme that you want. This is the first time I've ordered the t-shirts from this company, and I do think they're going to be a little bit oversized, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I really like that. That looks really nice. I think that's going to be really lovely on just with some like jeans or some like jean shorts. So that is the first one. I next picked up the in my Kindle era one. So she does like a tarot card collection that have like, I picked the Kindle reader one, but there is also like paperback reader or like hardback reader, and also sort of like spine breaker, things like that. But I just picked the Kindle reader one because my Kindle comes literally everywhere with me. And again, I just got the white one, and this one comes with the little purple flowers. So I love that. I think that looks so cute. The quality of these t-shirts is really nice. It feels really like lightweight and quite airy, so I think these will be perfect in summer. And then I also picked up 2 more sweatshirts. It's usually sweatshirts I order from here. I've also got some like tote bags and beanies and stuff, but it's the sweatshirts that I particularly love from this brand. I just think they're so comfy. I find some can be really itchy on the inside because I don't tend to wear t-shirts under my jumpers, and I feel like they can sometimes be super itchy, but I don't find that these ones are. So I first picked up the Heartstrings sweatshirt. So it just says Heartstrings, Baltimore's Romance Hotline, which is from First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, which was one of my favourite reads of last year. So I've just got this one. I'm so excited. I love this one so much. I saw the design on the website and was like, okay, I just have to have that. So I've now got my First Time Caller merch. I'm so excited. I love the sweatshirts. I literally live in my Literature Stitches sweatshirt, so I'm so happy to have a new one that I can put into rotation. And then literally the day after I placed my order, Emily Catlow teamed up with Literature Stitches, which just brings me so much happiness. I absolutely love Emily Catlow's writing anyway. She's one of my favourite MC romance authors ever. I've read every book that she's ever written. I love her writing so much. So when I saw that they had released a sort of like collab, it's like my favourite merch company with one of my favourite authors together, I just had to jump and get it. So I emailed them straight away like, can I just add one of these to my order please, because I need that in my life. So we now also have the Rippers MC collection. So there's a few different designs, but I picked the Rippers MC logo one, so it just looks like this. But then this one also has the sleeve detailing like the Reckless and Powerless ones I have. So we've got like a rose on one side, and then on the other side we've got my VP, which I just absolutely love. I love those little details on the edges. I think it just makes such a big difference. So I will be living in this one as well. That is my little Literature Stitches collection. I will leave the link to the website in the description bar below. I just love this brand so much. Like I say, this isn't sort of like sponsored. I don't gain anything from posting this video. I just genuinely love this brand so much, and just want to tell you guys about them so that more people can get their hands on this stuff. That's my little Literature Stitches haul. I am so happy to have a few more sort of like things that I can put into rotation. I am genuinely so happy about those. I am so excited. I think I'm going to do my series tracker next, because that is something else that has been bugging me and that I want to get updated. There's been a new book to add to my collection, so I need to add that to my series tracker as well. And I also just have a few books that need to be ticked off there too. I also need to actually remove all the books that I have unhauled as well. There was only 42 books that you guys saw me unhaul, but I also unhauled The Boys of Avis by Megan Brandy. Avex. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I just don't feel like I'm ever going to reach for it, so I've also unhauled that one as well. So let's get my series tracker ready to go. As always, welcome to my series tracker. I haven't updated this since I last spoke to you guys, so I think I'm first going to go through and remove the series that I'm not going to be keeping or continuing on with. I think that's everything that needs to be taken off. So it does obviously change my numbers slightly. It took one off completed, it took one off to finish. So that's not good, but it's also obviously reduced the series that I had to begin with. So that's that. Let's update the other ones. So Plain Defense, that's the Breakaway series. So the Breakaway series isn't actually on here, I don't think, because it was an ARC that I received. So we're gonna have to add that on. So the Breakaway series. So this is a romance. It's ongoing. It's in progress. I have read book 2, but I haven't read book 1, so we've still got 1, so that's in progress at the moment. The Ruinous Love series then, I have actually now completed this because there's 3 books and I have read the 3rd one, so that one gets ticked off. Game Changers here is now in progress because I have read book number 1. Diabound I am up to date with because there's 1 book out and I've read it. And then, what else do we have? Bury Our Bones is obviously standalone. Soul Searching, so Sweetwater Pete. So I am up to date with that as well because there's only one book out and I have read it. So that is a very good start. I think that's a really, really good, strong start. And obviously we've now got the next book in the Heartstrings series. So, oh my god, I never updated this. I was up to date with that. That is so annoying. It's now in progress anyway because the second book's come out. I can't believe I never noticed that. That's so bad. So I'm in progress with that one because the second book's just come out. So there we go. That is all of my books updated for today. So I'm still under 25, which I'm really happy with. And I'm up to 27%, which I'm very proud of as well. I don't think that's bad going. I'm pretty chuffed with that. I've still kept it for well under 25. I think we're now just going to jump straight into my journal and do that. Right, so in terms of my reading journal, I think what I'm going to do is the same as before. And I'm just going to crack on with my journal. And then I'll give you a flip through when I'm done. So if you've not seen my previous videos, I do have a A5 Yoppenton, I think it is, journal, and I just do all of my updates in here. So I'm gonna just sort of time lapse this. I think I'll get you set up, I'll get all my stuff sorted, and then we will just do this in a time lapse and I'll give you a flip through at the end. So let's jump straight into my journal. I've just finished updating my journal, so I thought I'd just give you a quick flip through, same as last time. So obviously if you've seen my last one, you've seen some of the pages before. So I've filled in my 7 with the colour that I used for this month. Obviously I haven't hit any of my end of year targets yet. I've managed to fill in quite a few of these, so we've added Diebound, Game Changer, Bury Our Bones, Soul Searching, Plain Defence onto my alphabet challenge. I've now ticked off 3 more on here. So we've now got Bury Our Bones, Dove, Soul Searching and Diebound ticked off. I've added a couple of new releases, but not much. And then I've filled out my February favourites. So I have decided on Scythe and Sparrow, and then I've had to pit those two against each other, and January's has one, so Vengeance of a Pirate Queen is my best book of the year so far. I've then filled out my stats, but I don't actually think I've done them right. I can't make it work, and me and James have both sat down and look at it, and I've messed up somewhere, but we'll talk more on that later. I've then filled out my fantasy ones. Last month I had a bit of an issue with this and I have now fixed it. So we've got more pages, and then I've wrote in my romances. So I've just got country romances there, adult sport romance, college sport romance, general random bits and bobs, and then like darker romance ones. So I've ticked them off, and I've highlighted Ruinous Love Trilogy now that I've completed that one. So that feels good to do, a completed series. I've then written down all the books that I read in February, just so that I can see them all at a glance at the end of the year. Nothing has been added to my DNF graveyard or my God tier list yet either. We then jump to my February spreads. So we've got my TBR here, and I haven't actually ticked the ones that I've read, so let's just quickly do that. So I've read 5 out of my 6 on my February TBR. One of my lights just died, so I'm just gonna keep going because it's still bright enough outside that you can see this, so we're just gonna ignore that. Yeah, I've then got my stats moved over here just so that you can see them a bit better. So I'm up to 32% of my physical TBR read, which I have finally passed the 30 mark, which makes me really happy. And I know a lot of that is down to the fact that I unhauled a lot of books, but some of the books I unhauled, I had also read 7 of those. I was a little bit worried that I weren't going to tick over at some point soon still, but I have ticked over the 30% mark now, and I need to keep it above the 30% mark. And I've read 175 books off my physical TBR. I've then put all the books I read this month and then written a little bit about them along with their ratings just in the rest of the journals. I'm happy with how this turned out. I'm just going to quickly put away all the books that I've read this month and get them sort of organised on my shelves. So let's quickly do that together before we call it a day. I have the books I've read this month and just a few new books to go back on the bookshelves. Obviously I only didn't read one book and I'm currently reading it, so there's nothing to go back on the TBR cart this month, which is a winner. But I do obviously have some books that I need to move over because... oh, actually I don't. So I don't have the second book in Diebound, so that doesn't need to move. Bury Our Bones is a standalone. Plain Defence is book 2 and book 1 I've already put on my TBR cart anyway. The second book in the Game Changers series is already on my TBR for next month, so I don't need to do anything with that. Scythe and Sparrow is the last book in the series, so that doesn't get anything on there. Soul Searching, the next book isn't out yet, and The 7 Year Slip doesn't have a second book. So one of my rules is if when I read a book in a series, I have to put the next book on the series on the cart so that I'm continuing to like meet my goals for the year. But all of those don't need anything following over, so that's actually really great. I'm lying because And Now Back to You is actually on my 26 and 2026, so this needs to go straight on the TBR cart because it's a new release. It's on my 26 and 2026, so that goes on the TBR cart. I think that's all done. I have changed how I lay out my fairy loots a little bit just because they're getting to the point now where you can't really have them slanted. So basically what I've done is just picked like one on each shelf to face like forward rather than edges out, just because I feel like that's the only way I can make it look nice. A successful day. We've got so much done. I feel so much better. The only thing I still have left to do is to get all the books I have unhauled onto Vinted because I still haven't done that yet. But I'm going to be honest, I've got so much editing to do, so I'm not going to do that today either. But I will get that done by the time that this video is up, so I will leave the link in the description bar below. If you guys are interested in any of the books that I unhauled, they will be on there. A very successful day. I am very happy with the progress I have made and everything I've got sorted. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, my social media, my Amazon, my Goodreads and my business email are all in the description bar below. I really hope you guys are well. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.